morning and welcome to Asia Gaming Brief's face-to-face series. This week we're bringing you something slightly different ahead of the ASEAN Gaming Summit, which kicks off in Manila on July the 25th. Our events manager, Giulia Timarco, sits down with Sudhir Kalé, who is the founder of GamePlan Consultants. Sudhir is an expert in marketing and he's going to be giving a pre-conference workshop on service blueprinting. He takes Giulia through some of the key points.
Hello, everyone. I'm the conference manager of the upcoming ASEAN Gaming Summit. Today, we'll have a short interview with one of our pre-conference workshop leaders. Sudhir Kalé is the founder of GamePlan Consultants. He will today answer some questions on his service blueprint for post-pandemic pivoting workshop. He has also been a faculty of Arizona State University, the world-leading university for service marketing. He has published around 150 articles on the management and marketing of casinos, and that's incredibly impressive, Sudhir.
Thank you.
First of all, if you could tell us just a couple of words about the workshop itself. So why this topic and why now?
Well, for our viewers who are not familiar with the concept, service blueprint is basically a service roadmap. It's a visual document that describes in some detail where and how the customer interacts with your company. So what you do is you identify the key touch points that the customer goes through. Touch point is any interaction that your company has with the customer. And your touch points can be machine to machine. Touch point can be human to machine. Touch points can be, human to human. So it's not restricted to just human interactions. So typically in any customer journey, a customer will go through several touch points. So let's say, Giulia, you're going for dinner with your boyfriend to a restaurant. So typically what the behaviors you might undertake is to call the restaurant, make a reservation, then drive to the premises, then enter the restaurant, interact with the maitre d' who will assign you your seating. Then you look at the menu, the waiter or the waitress will come and, take your order, get your drinks, then the meals come. You enjoy your meal, and then you leave. So this is a very concise estimate of all the touch points. In reality, there may be a lot more. But then at each of these touch points, what you'll notice is there's certain physical evidence. So even when you drive to the parking area, you might focus on the exterior of the building or on the lawns. You enter the restaurant, you have the odors, the sights, the smells, the decor of the place, the uniform of the employees. So that is the physical evidence part of it. Then in every response to a customer's behavior, let's say you call up the restaurant to make reservations, the contact employee responds. Hello, this is Lydia. How can I help you? You enter the restaurant, welcome to whatever the restaurant is. Can I please show you to your table? So there's the contact employee's visible behaviors, and there are invisible behaviors. The invisible behaviors, also known as the backstage behaviors, and those are the behaviors that the customer does not get to see. So for example, you may give your drinks order. You don't see the fact that, the wait person goes back there, enters the drinks order in the Micros terminal, pulls out a tray, prepares the drinks. What you see is him or her bringing out the drinks to you. So those are the backstage behaviors. And then in order for all of this to function effectively, you need certain support staff and services. So going back to our casino industry, HR is basically the support function in every single touch point. Security and surveillance is a function in every single touch point. So what you do is along the whole hierarchy, you identify these 5 elements. What is the physical evidence? What are the expected behaviors of the customers? What are behaviors of the contact employee that the customer gets to see, which are the front stage behaviors? What are the contact employees' backstage behaviors that you don't get to see? And the support system and staff. So once you have this document laid out, you understand every aspect of customer service and customer experience. You asked me why now? Well, I think customer experience is like those eternal things, like, love or, happiness. I mean, it's always there, okay? It's just that, people have been so beaten up over, since March of 2020 that everybody is hankering for a good experience. And not only that, customer loyalties have taken a huge beating through the COVID period. People have tried new brands. Lots of people have abandoned, land-based casinos in favor of online casinos. And so basically, and you see what is happening in Macau. So customers have become, in a way, more demanding. Loyalties have taken a beating. The behaviors have changed. And therefore, we need to basically create the blueprints that will incorporate the new behaviors and the new aspirations of the customers.
So my second question is, what can we expect from this workshop? What do you have in mind? How are you, structuring everything? Is it more interactive, or is it, classroom style? What can we expect?
Yeah, it's a very hands-on workshop in that, it's not going to be a lecture. I introduce the concept. I show people a few blueprints that I have designed for many different companies in the past. And then I ask people typically to take their own company and to work on a particular problem and then design the service blueprint for that. So hopefully at the end of the day, they will be able to design simple blueprints. I mean, I've been doing it for 25 years and even now I'm learning, So I don't claim that, you'll be experts after that one masterclass, but at least you'll have a very solid understanding and appreciation of what service blueprints are and what they can do for the company. So, some of the games are like you understand the entire functioning of the organization with regards to a particular segment with a service blueprint. So, let's take, somewhat of an unusual example. So you might have heard that Kiran Karathars has been appointed the CEO of Crown Resorts, okay, who used to be the CEO of Wynn. Now, for him to assume this leadership and, comprising of 3 properties in Australia and then, of course, a few in the UK, and coming in from a very different environment, he'll need to talk to hundreds of people and get their viewpoints in terms of how the properties function. But imagine if he had access to a blueprint in terms of every major segment that Crown deals with, he'll be able to understand those things in less than 10 minutes. So basically, it gives you a total picture of how your company functions, the way the services are offered, what are the likely fail points, and how we can preempt those fail points. And not only that, once you have an idea of the entire service process along certain touch points, then you're able to identify certain touch points which you own, which you make your own, and which you use to differentiate your property from every other property. So I know you have spent some time in Macau at Galaxy. I've done work for Galaxy in the past, and designed the blueprints even before the property opened. But you might recall the moment you enter the property, you see these very, very tall girls. They're welcome ambassadors. And that's a unique touch point that Galaxy has designed for themselves. So now when you ask people, okay, what do you remember about Galaxy? Oh, those very tall girls. I mean, again, not that it adds a whole lot to the customer experience, but it differentiates the property from every other property. So it allows you to identify certain touch points, which are in fact the golden touch points. And you separate your company from all the others based on that. Second, every person within the company can understand what their role is and how they fit into the broader scheme of things to deliver the desired experience. Actually, what Galaxy did after I had designed those touch points was they actually had Mike Mecca, who used to be the president of the company, and Francis Loy, the vice chairman. They actually designed a skit. They hired a famous Hong Kong actress, Sandra Ung, I think, And they created a skit whereby the touch points were actually played out with these 3 actors. And that video was given to every employee during the opening. And even today, if you find, I think Galaxy's experience is a notch above some of the other properties there. So it can have very lasting impact. I think pretty much every decision maker within the company needs to understand what service blueprinting is. It's not a solo exercise. It needs to be done as a team. And you need employees at every level to participate in designing the service blueprint, because if they have a role in designing it, then they will implement it, they will buy into it. Service blueprints require collaboration, cooperation from HR, from marketing, and from operations. Marketing needs to understand, okay, what kind of expectations do we set for the customer? And the service blueprint is useful for that. Operations say, okay, how do we deliver on the promises that marketing has made? And therefore, marketing operations people need an understanding of that. And then, of course, HR, in terms of hiring, what people do you hire? How do we train them? How do we assess them? How do we reward them? So I think, all 3 departments should be involved in service blueprinting. A simple answer to your question now, I gave you the long answer, would be operations people. It could be casino managers, it could be VP of operations, vice president of marketing, senior vice president of marketing, marketing directors. And of course, you have your HR partners or VP of marketing, VP of HR.
Sudhir, thank you so much for answering all of those questions and for your time with us today. And we really look forward to this workshop in less than 2 weeks. I think it's exactly 2 weeks. I look forward to seeing you there very, very soon. So,
see you soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. If you'd like to hear more on this subject, please join Sudhir at the ASEAN Gaming Summit. You can pre-register for the event, which takes place at 9 a.m. on July the 25th through the ASEAN Gaming Summit website. We look forward to seeing you there.